Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are in the thick of it now. We are done with week 1 of fantasy football, and what a crazy week it was. Crazy yet disappointing week it was.
Crazy yet boring.
I wouldn't say boring. There was a lot of things that happened this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy, disappointing, a lot of injuries, a lot of news happening.
Lots of rejoicing, lots of crying.
Yeah, just ups and downs all around. But it was, other than a few select players, it was really like a low-scoring week. I don't think
it was. Yeah.
I guess defense is on display. Only 4 quarterbacks had over 20 points this week. Only 2 running backs over 20 points. I think only 2 wide receivers and tight ends combined over 20 points. Obviously, these are based on standard scoring. If you're in PPR, obviously those would be a lot higher. And 4 defenses over 20 points.
That is crazy.
That's just as many as quarterbacks.
They did so well. That goes along with not scoring a lot of touchdowns, but so well.
Yeah, that is just ridiculous.
MVP, all the defenses.
Yeah, but welcome in. This is the 423 Football Podcast. It's just myself, Brandon Bouchard today, and Brett Hamilton with us. Peyton's running a little late with his work and everything, so he might jump in here a little bit later. But if you listen to our last show, our bonus episode, where I was talking about our league specifically, you would have heard that we're going to try to do 3 shows a week. We don't really know how long each one's going to be. We're going to try to put as much information in those as we can. But like I said, if you go back and listen to that show, Brett and Peyton have other obligations they got to do. They have real lives and jobs.
Yeah.
I'm the guy doing nothing, just putting in the fantasy football work. But we'll just go ahead and jump right into the news, and what a busy news section it is. First things first, David Johnson, dislocated wrist, will have surgery, out 2 to 3 months.
What a killer. One first or second pick, just down in the first week. Absolute killer.
It's just heartbreaking.
It is. It's bad for the offense. It's bad for the Cardinals first and foremost, but it's also awful for fantasy owners.
Yeah, but like you said, it hurts the Cardinals because that offense runs through him.
Yeah,
and
you saw after he left the game.
Yeah, it was
ineffective.
It was rough. But Cardinals. First of all, David Johnson, like I said, 2 to 3 months is the timetable. Obviously, you've seen it in his college years and even in the pros right now. People refer to him as just a freak of nature when it comes to healing. So maybe, look on the optimistic side of that. Maybe the closer to 2 months than 3. But still, we're going to be talking about this all season long.
Right.
And I would not say drop him. Do not go and drop David Johnson because he could come back for your fantasy playoffs.
No. You can entertain trades. Especially if you need if you lack the running back depth, definitely entertain some trades. But he's not droppable.
If you can hold on to him and obviously withstand the roster slot that he's going to take up, then definitely hang on to David.
Of course,
Johnson.
Dynasty League, we don't even have to talk about that. Obviously, you're not going to drop him, but
Cardinals, they already went ahead and re-signed Chris Johnson. They got Kerwin Williams on the roster. They got Andre Ellington on the roster. Any of these guys really that relevant, or are you thinking more of a running back committee?
I think more of a running back guarantee. A running back guarantee. No, they are
guaranteed. I guarantee to you as a committee.
I guarantee you that David Johnson will not play the next game. No, I think it is going to be more of a committee. They cut Chris Johnson for a reason in preseason. He did not perform well. He didn't look good.
He's on the older side, too.
Yeah, he is on the older side. I think that they brought. Honestly, talking about RB1, I think Kerwin Williams is going to be the RB1 technically, but it will be more of a running back committee. I think they only brought Chris Johnson back for depth, and that's all.
Yeah, definitely. If you're going to look for one guy, it's going to be Kerwin Williams.
Right.
Allen Robinson out for the season, torn ACL, another big one,
another heartbreaker.
I was just telling Brad I have him in literally every single league this year. Not because I liked him that much, but just because he fell to me in so many leagues. But obviously, have to live without that for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Not really sure. I'd really prefer not to have a Jags pass catcher right now, especially with Blake Bortles.
Right.
We'll talk about that a little bit later, though, who we'd prefer in that receiving core.
Right.
Danny Woodhead, hamstring injury, aggravated it after the first drive in that game on Sunday. Looks like he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, so not a good sign for Danny Woodhead. Obviously, coming off the ACL, the hamstring issue in camp, and not sure if it's the same hamstring, but I know just
it is the same hamstring.
It is.
And that's what scares me the most about it is when you aggravate a hamstring and then you hurt it, you really rip it like he did. There's nothing you can do to make it heal faster.
Just rest.
You just sit there.
Yeah.
And that you can't make it go any faster. There's no chance that he comes back.
Yeah.
Anytime sooner than expected.
But like we said before, we've been high on Terrence West even before this injury.
Yeah, that's true.
Obviously, I think he moves up even more. But got to watch Buck Allen. He came in, had, I believe, the most touches on the team. I can't remember how many. It was like 21, I believe. But he's probably going to be the passing downs back that replaces Danny Woodhead in this offense. C.J. Fedorowicz just broke a few hours ago, had a concussion, along with actually every Texans tight end. Every Texans tight end this week had a concussion.
There's something in the water, man.
I don't know what was
crazy.
going there.
I don't know that I've ever seen a situation like that where it's all the same injury.
Yeah, but Fedorowicz was placed on IR today. It's his second concussion since training camp, so kind of scary situation. He's going to be out for a while. Kevin White out again, third straight season. This time broken collarbone. He's all I can say is I'm pretty sure his career is pretty much over. His body's made of paper mache.
Every season I come in the off season, I think that he's gonna come back and he's gonna do really well. And every season he comes back and he's injured. Yeah. So I think it's lights out for Kevin White. Unfortunately, it's a shame because he's a really good player.
Andrew Luck officially out week 2. We kind of had a feeling this was the case. It was going to be multiple weeks. Still no timetable, so that's
no time. They're being really quiet about that.
It's just
he wants to come back and practice, but no one will let him. They won't release him to practice, and they won't even tell us when to expect him to come back to practice.
Yeah. So no timetable. Apparently, they're going to try to roll out Jacoby Brissett. They just got him less than a month ago, so not sure how that's going to work out. Obviously, this Colts offense is Colts team.
The team is terrible. Even the defense plays worse whenever Andrew Luck's not on the field. Obviously, probably because they're out there so often.
Yeah. And another last minute piece of news to monitor: NFL officially filed the appeal of Zeke's appeal. So, and I'm sure if he could, I don't know how the system works with that, but we're going to have appeals on appeals on appeals on appeals on appeals, and it's going to be just, I don't know. Why can't they just sit down, have like a group of judges instead of one guy come in and have like a consensus decision on just one appeal process and it's done.
It's awful PR for the NFL first and foremost. It's bad. It's bad for Zeke. It's bad for the Cowboys. It's bad for everyone. It's going to linger. I'm afraid it's going to be a Tom Brady situation where it's not going to be resolved for an entire season. And then they're going to tack on the suspension to the first at least 3 to 4 games next season, possibly 6. But it's just bad. I'm just tired of talking about it. I'm tired of worrying about it. But it's critical to fantasy right now.
Again,
he could still miss games this season.
Yeah, the door's open for him to miss games, and we're just going to have to monitor it, and we're going to be talking about it all year, and it's going to annoy the hell out of us. I know that.
It will, yeah.
All right, so we're just going to jump right on into this is going to be our Week 1 review show. We're just going to talk about basically everything that happened over the weekend. So first things first, Thursday night game, Chiefs and Patriots. Chiefs come into Foxborough, surprisingly, and whoop up on the Patriots, 42-27.
I couldn't find anyone that predicted that.
No, I could see someone predicting the Chiefs beating the Patriots.
Yeah,
maybe if
marginally.
Maybe if they were in Arrowhead, but they were in Foxborough. That doesn't happen often.
That does not happen. Not in the season opener.
Yeah, obviously big games for Alex Smith, Kareem Hunt, Tyreek Hill. But I mean, Kareem Hunt. Holy cow.
Yeah, he's really good. I don't expect him to do that every single week. Alex Smith isn't going to throw 300-plus yards every single week. But he's there, and he's really, really good. And he's obviously the one that they're going with.
Yeah,
There's
he's
no
the bell
contest.
cow. He's the bell cow guy. But do you think, I mean, I think this was probably the best game I've ever seen Alex Smith play.
Yes.
He looked like Tom Brady, and Tom Brady looked like Alex Smith.
Tom Brady did not look like Tom Brady.
No,
not
he did
at all.
But do you think, going back to Kareem Hunt, do you think this is the best fantasy game he will ever have?
Ever?
Yes.
No.
No?
No.
I
think he has more games. I think he has more games around this. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to score 50-plus points. What do you have in PPR?
45, I believe.
Well, yeah, we play standard, so it's a little bit different. But I think he's got a couple more in him like that because he's shown that he can handle the workload. He can handle the workload. I mean, he didn't show fatigue. He got the ball a lot and he ran a lot and he didn't seem to get tired. But I do think that it's going to be definitely toned down after this week.
Yeah, don't expect all this, or don't expect Alex Smith to go off for 30 points every week. Don't expect Kareem Hunt to go off for 40 every week.
You think Alex Smith is playing out of his shoes because he's worried about losing his job?
Maybe honestly, there might be some pressure there. But
he had the same problem in 49ers. He got hurt, and then Colin Kaepernick took over. He got cut.
I'm sure
maybe it's the same situation. He's just really trying to prove himself.
Yeah, but on the other side of the ball, like I said, Tom Brady, not much in this game. Kind of disappointing. Eric Berry shut down Gronk. Obviously, Eric Berry's out for the year with Achilles.
That hurts the Chiefs so bad. He's such a good player.
Yeah, but Mike Gillislee gets 3 touchdowns, all goal line.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of
LeGarrette Blount-esque.
Yeah, we expected this. That was going to be his role. I don't see him being a yardage guy at all.
No.
I think 3 if he gets the touchdowns on a weekly basis, then he'll be relevant.
Yep.
But honestly, it's still going to be a consistency issue because James White and Burkhead, even I know Burkhead didn't get that much work, but those guys are going to be definitely in the backfield.
But that's not the Patriots offense that I expect to see every week. Tom Brady looked he was playing like I haven't seen him play like that in a long time. He was throwing lasers, like he had no touch on the ball. Just missing receivers.
I can tell you what was wrong. It looked exactly like the Packers offense a few years back when they were Jordy went down.
Yep.
Obviously Edelman went down. I'm not saying it's the same situation.
No.
But it's like they don't know what to do with the offense. Julian was the check down guy, and Brady's not the guy. You've never ever seen him other than when he had Randy Moss taking 50-yard shots down the field. He's always been just dink and dunk kind of guy.
Yeah.
And every pass I saw was just these kind of fly routes to Brandon Cooks or seam routes. Mm-hmm. And
it was weird.
That doesn't work in that Patriots offense. That's why Danny Amendola, obviously he's injured now, but he was getting the majority of the work.
So do you think this whole thing was just kind of a flop, or are you up or down on any Patriots players after seeing them week 1?
Not really. They'll bounce back. They'll be fine. Like I said, the Chiefs, we saw them do this to the Patriots, was it last year or a few years back? And we were like, oh, panic, Tom Brady's falling off the cliff. Mm-hmm. But it's honestly...
He comes back firing. Yeah.
Belichick will figure things out, and he'll get things on the right track.
Yeah.
Jets and Bills... Boring game. Jets lose 12-21. Basically, Jets were just terrible.
They played bad,
just flat out terrible. McCown, he threw it a ton. Really wasn't very productive at all. The receivers, other than Jermaine Kearse, got some work. He might be a guy you can look at in PPR. But biggest thing on that side of the ball, Forte had 6 carries. Bilal Powell only 7 carries.
This is so frustrating. Bilal Powell is so much better. I think he's better on every team he's been on. It seems like it's the same situation, just following him around. Why don't they play him?
I just feel like they have Forte. They know they're not going to win. and I feel like they're just going to run Forte into the ground while they have him.
That is awful.
But that's all.
I hate that.
That's all you can. That's really all you can say from the Jets side. Tyrod Taylor again. He's a very capable quarterback, especially with his legs. He had 18 fantasy points. That was more than most this week. So I don't know. Stop the Tyrod Taylor hate. Basically, he's a good fantasy quarterback.
He looked awful in preseason. I completely understand that. People are talking about, they're not sure if they're going to go with him or not, but he's clearly going to start, and with his legs, definitely adds some fantasy value to him.
Yeah, and he obviously has a rapport going with Charles Clay. Obviously, he gets in the end zone. Yep. Actually, if you look back to last year, from week 11 on last year, Charles Clay was the number 4 tight end in fantasy. Obviously, he's picking up right where he left off. Charles Clay, I think, is a top 10 fantasy tight end from this point on. But the real story in that offense is LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
They said they're going to feed him, and they did feed him. Obviously, once again, like we said, McCoy has games where you'll run him to death, then he goes down with an injury for a few minutes, and then comes right on back out there. Yeah. So he's definitely going to get to work. It's not a question there.
He would have had an incredible fantasy day if Mike Tolbert did not come in and vulture that touchdown.
Yeah,
that was.
We're going to see that a lot this year.
I don't have LaShawn McCoy in any of my leagues, but I just felt so hard for all the shady owners out there. It was painful to watch.
Yeah, we're going to see that quite a bit this year. I feel like Tolbert definitely a good goal line back. Yep. Falcons and Bears. Surprisingly, Bears cut it close. Came down to the last.
They did. I don't think anyone was expecting that.
Last goal line stand. Falcons come out on top, 23-17. Matt Ryan had a good game. Obviously, Devonta Freeman, Tevin Coleman. Almost identical when it comes to touches, which is kind of surprising. But Freeman does get in the end zone, so that helps there. Not really much from Julio this game. He caught, I believe, 6 balls, maybe like 60-something yards. Yeah. But not really the pinnacle of what he can do. Well, he'll be fine moving forward.
Yeah.
Austin Hooper.
The hoop is on fire.
Let's calm down. It was by far it's gonna be his best game of his career. 128 yards
on 2 touches.
On two catches.
128 yards.
And the one touchdown was just ridiculous. Dumb. 88 yards. He stiff arms some guy into oblivion.
That was one of the hardest stiff arms I've ever seen. Like he stiff armed him into the ground.
Yeah, while he was running 2 miles an hour. And
that was so funny. He just lumbered all the way down that field, but he was just pushing people off of him. That was good to see, but no. But going forward, no.
Temper expectations. He'll get a few red zone looks every now and then. He's a big guy, but don't expect that.
He is super slow.
Yeah. On the other side of the ball, Mike Glennon, obviously no Trubisky in this game, didn't even dress out. No. Glennon just mediocre. That's all you can say.
He looked like a game manager to me.
Yeah, that's what the Bears want to do.
That's what they needed, and that's what they do. But it just exemplifies why you don't start Mike Glennon.
Yeah, and obviously the wide receivers there are kind of a mess right now. Kendall Wright may be a guy to look at.
Right.
But the running backs are where the real issue lies. Jordan Howard he had 16 touches and a touchdown, so not a bad day. But
no, it wasn't terrible.
Obviously, he was our pick for NFC North Bust of the Year, and I think we're headed towards that direction. Tyreek Cohen looked phenomenal.
Yeah, he was. Golly,
we saw him in the preseason doing the same thing. He had 13 touches and a touchdown. Team high 12 targets. He's so quick. You have to use this guy, and they're going to because they're going to be down a lot. He's going to be in the backfield, and a lot of people are comparing him to Darren Sproles in just a scat back kind of role. But the guy's got power too.
He does.
One touchdown he had, he barreled through defender to get in the end zone.
Yeah,
and if it hadn't,
it was impressive.
Yeah, and if it hadn't have been for Jordan Howard dropping the ball on the goal line stand,
Yeah.
If they would have had Tariq Cohen in there, Bears probably would have won that game.
I have no idea why they didn't have him in there after the game he had, but I mean, 12 targets, 47 yards, 1 touchdown. It was an incredible display from a rookie, and the situation wasn't like strange or anything. It wasn't that Jordan Howard got hurt and taken out of the game. Like, he just had that production even with Jordan Howard in the game.
Yeah.
So I think that is some serious fantasy value. He is part of the game plan. They're going to use him. They're going to be down a lot this year, and he is quick. And
definitely a waiver wire target this week.
Yeah, we're going to cover that at the end of this episode, so stay tuned.
So moving on, Ravens and Bengals. Ravens shut out the Bengals 20-0. Bengals looked awful.
Yeah.
Bengals looked so bad. It was just...
Who played worse, the Bengals or the Colts?
Honestly, I'd say the Bengals just because they actually had their guys out there.
They scored 0 points.
It was bad. Andy Dalton, obviously, 4 interceptions and a fumble. He just pooped the bed, basically.
Yeah, I'm dropping him.
I think, say what you will about Andy Dalton, he had a few tip passes that got picked.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I think it just goes down to the backfield. The running back rotation, they all got similar touches.
That's so weird.
I understand all those guys are talented and they can go out there and do something, but if you don't pick one guy to go out there and get a rhythm, it's not going to work. You have to pick one guy, let him go out there, and let him hammer on a defense.
And that's what we were afraid of at the beginning of this season. Marvin Lewis has had a track record of using a running back committee. Even though there's a clear number one, he still uses the committee. And that's one of the reasons that I wasn't as high on Joe Mixon as a lot of other people. I know he's talented. He is by far the most talented running back in that backfield. But I don't think he takes over a clear number one spot until the middle of the season.
Yeah, but I definitely agree with that. But I think it is coming. I think Marvin Lewis will wake up at some point.
I hope so.
or maybe I don't want to say I hope for it, but an injury will happen and Mixon will take over.
Well, especially if they're all getting that many attempts. I mean, Joe Mixon had the most, barely, with 8. Gio had 7. Jeremy Hill had 6. Gio had the most yards, but it was the most committee you could get.
Yeah. On the other side of the ball, Ravens, obviously we said Danny Woodhead, comes out strong. He looked like he was going to be fantastic in the passing game. Then he goes down with a hamstring. Obviously, it's going to be multiple weeks. Terrence West, I believe, definitely the guy to own. But Buck Allen, you need to go out and grab him, especially in PPR. He's going to be the third down back.
Oh yeah, PPR. He is going to get the reception targets. I mean, he's going to get the ball. But I think he still has value in standard leagues as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. He can obviously Danny Woodhead. We were looking at him in standard leagues.
Yeah.
And Buck Allen is just going to slide into that role, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Steelers and Browns. Steelers narrowly escape again, 21-18. But I guess the only positive thing you can say about the Steelers is Antonio
Brown.
I mean,
he carried that team.
Ben
Roethlisberger didn't even look good.
No.
But he was playing away.
We told you.
That may be the point.
Yeah,
Look for him next week when he plays at home.
Yeah, but Antonio Brown, 11 catches on 11 targets, 182 yards. It's just...
Yeah, that's Antonio Brown.
We don't need to say anything. It's Antonio Brown.
He's a freak of nature. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, he's the best receiver in the league. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell, though, disappointing there. I think it was just more...
This is a game plan issue.
I don't know if it was that. He'll be fine. Don't worry about him. But
but he really didn't look great. Even when he had the ball, he didn't look great.
No, he didn't. He looked like he'd been obviously holding out and not at practice, which is what we saw. The reports are saying he was going to have 30 touches this game. He only had 13. So not
what we expected.
You're not happy if you're a Le'Veon owner, obviously this week, but.
No.
Don't be going out and be panicky and trading him.
No, absolutely not.
Hold on to him. If someone is out there panicking and trying to get rid of Le'Veon,
yes,
take him.
That is who you want to target in a trade. Someone who overreacts to the first week of the NFL season. That's who you want to target to get Le'Veon Bell. If you could score that, you're looking good for your league.
Oh yeah. On the other side of the ball, Deshaun Kaiser gets a start. Pretty good showing.
Yeah.
18 fantasy points.
Yeah.
Had a passing and a rushing touchdown. I do believe the Steelers kind of honed in on him kind of later on. They started stacking the box and making Kaiser throw, and obviously that affected Crowell. He had 17 carries, only 33 yards. He caught a few balls for another, I think, 33.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was just Steelers trying to force the young quarterback to throw.
Right. If he can build up his confidence and consistency, if he can learn how to throw, he could be a pretty dangerous quarterback.
Yeah, I think this offense will be fine, honestly. They just have to find their rhythm, and Kaiser has to get in a rhythm.
Right.
Cardinals and Lions, 23-35. Lions have a pretty impressive comeback, I guess you could say. Obviously, big news, David Johnson out for I almost said the year. Hopefully not the year. 3 to 4 months.
You just keep ripping my heart out.
It's
I don't want to talk about it, but I know we have to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good news is he had 91 yards yesterday. Obviously, the bad news is the injury. But once he went out, like we said earlier, it was just
total game changer.
Downhill for the Cardinals.
On both sides of the ball, they just look bad.
Yeah, Carson Palmer looked horrible yesterday.
It almost seems like he can't even function. I was talking to Brandon before we started the podcast. That situation looks eerily similar to Andrew Luck being absent from the Colts. Like those two players, Andrew Luck and David Johnson, make that big of an impact on both sides of the ball for their team that it's hard to quantify.
Yeah, and both those teams play each other in week 2, so
which will be really interesting.
Fun game. I guess.
If Carson Palmer does not do well next week, he should just retire. I mean, that's it.
Jump into conclusions there. On the other side of the ball, Stafford obviously threw the pick, I believe, on his first possession. Comes out, and he just comes alive. 4 touchdown passes. He's definitely earning the money that he's just got a few weeks ago.
Yep. 2 of those touchdowns went to Kenny Golladay.
Oh, yeah.
Galladay keeps the doctor away.
Hey,
that's what I said before the season.
That's true.
I'm sticking by it.
We were high on him at the beginning of the year. I kind of cooled off. He kind of cooled off there for a while.
Yeah.
But it looks like, 4 for 69 and 2 touchdowns. Yeah. He's obviously the biggest receiver they have.
Yeah.
And I think
he's a definite waiver wire pickup. But I don't know how, even though I was pretty high on him before the season, I don't know how big of a conclusion I can come to after this week, because
just
you had
game.
You had Tyrann Mathieu and Patrick Peterson covering the 2 big receivers on the Lions. Who else was going to be covering Kenny Golladay?
Yeah, but
but Kenny Galladay's catches were so impressive.
They were
so impressive. He really showed his talent. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better display for a rookie wide receiver in your first NFL game.
Yeah, it was great. But like you mentioned, I definitely owe you an apology for
that's right.
For Golden Tate.
Everyone just take this moment in.
Brett had him as his start of the week last week. Obviously going up against the Cardinals, and then they come out with the news that Patrick Peterson's going to shadow him. And I obviously go on Twitter. If you follow us over on Twitter at the 423 Football. I was just tweeting, do not start Golden Tate. Do not start him. And then he comes out and he does exactly what you say he does. He's going to be the dink and dunk guy. He catches
He catches in the slot.
Yeah, in the slot. What was it? Where is it? 10 catches for 170 or 107 yards. 170 would be really good.
PPR value. Oh, incredible.
Yeah, he had a fantastic game. Moving on, Jags and Texans. Jags win 29-7. Texans just
did not look good.
No, they did not.
But
they didn't give
the one highlight was Deshaun Watson coming in.
Oh, coming in, yeah,
coming in and starting. Not starting the game, but coming in and taking over.
Yeah, Tom Savage.
Holding the game.
Obviously had a very, very short leash, and he's actually we had breaking news that not too long ago that Deshaun Watson will start next week. So,
one of my bold predictions from the preseason, one of our preseason episodes, was Deshaun Watson takes over the job in week 3. I was a little late on that. Looks like It already happened in week 2.
If Peyton were here, he'd be hooping and hollering for Deshaun Watson.
Absolutely.
But obviously, that's going to help open up the run game for Lamar Miller.
Yep.
We saw DeAndre Hopkins catch a ball from Deshaun Watson, and Watkins had 16 targets, which he didn't have anything like that last year. And the year before, when he led the league in targets, that was when he had one of his best, or he had his best fantasy year.
Yeah, so it's really good to see that Deshaun Watson and Watkins pairing, and their chemistry looks good. I look to see Watkins get a lot more end zone targets.
Hopkins, you mean? Hopkins.
Golly, that is
Watkins. Hopkins.
That is really, really tough. I look for a lot more Hopkins.
Hey, they all went to Clemson, so I guess you can get confused there. But on the other side of the ball, Allen Robinson, like we said, ACL.
Yeah, that's killer.
Yeah, that's going to hurt.
He was such a good slot or a flex player in fantasy.
Yeah, but Blake Bortles, we finally saw them kind of shift towards that running game or run-based team that they were talking about. Fournette gets 26 touches. 26 carries, 100 yards and a touchdown, catches 3 balls for 24 yards. Bortles actually has the fewest pass attempts of his career with 21, which that all signs point to Fournette being the guy.
Yeah.
But if you were obviously Robinson going down, if you were going to pick a receiver from that team, who would you target?
It'd have to be Allen Hurns.
Allen Hurns.
It would have to be if I had to choose. But I don't want to choose. Yeah, I'm not targeting either one of those because I don't believe in Blake Bortles.
Yeah, I definitely
agree. I just don't believe in the passing game. This Leonard Fournette, we have to apologize. We were I think that was our sit of the week, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was one of our sits.
Yeah, he's one of our sits. We called that one wrong. It just appeared that the Jaguars were just hiding him during the preseason. It was not so much as they didn't believe in him. They were just hiding him and waiting to unleash the beast. But he did really, really well. He was a strong runner, 26 carries, 100 yards. He was just productive.
And like we said, it's not the talent for Leonard Fournette, we're all on board with that. It's just,
and again, it's the injury risk.
We were worried about the injury. Yep. But moving on, Raiders and Titans. Raiders win 26-16. Good day for Derek Carr, 2 touchdowns. Amari Cooper had 13 targets, which that's good to see, and especially the red zone targets. Granted,
red zone targets that he dropped.
He caught one, and that one touchdown was phenomenal.
It was, yeah.
Driving in the end zone.
I have no doubt he has the talent, but I think it was the opening drive, wasn't it, where he was targeted on all 3 downs. And they ended up kicking a field goal because he missed all three catches. Yeah. That made me hurt.
And that's part of the reason why Crabtree has been Derek Carr's go-to guy in the red zone because Amari hasn't been that reliable.
Right.
But obviously we get to see Marshawn in this game, 18 for 76.
He had some Skittles that game.
he got a lot of work, but obviously first game you could tell he was kind of gassed every now and then. They brought other guys in.
Yeah. He had to ask to come out a couple of times, but when he ran, he was making guys miss. He was breaking tackles. He was looking like the strong runner that Marshawn Lynch was before the retirement phase of his life.
It definitely reassuring. On the other side of the ball, Titans, Mariota had a pretty good game. Obviously got in the end zone with his legs. DeMarco Murray, bit disappointing.
That was a disappointment.
Only 12 carries, 44 yards.
Yep.
Do you have any fear of Derrick Henry possibly getting close to like a 50-50 or 60-40 split?
I think if DeMarco has more games like this, yes, for sure. But even without that, I do think he's inching his way up. I do really like Derrick Henry. I think he has an enormous talent. He's a huge player, and I think he can handle the workload. I think he's looking for an opportunity here.
Yeah, and pass catchers for the Titans, Eric Decker. Not really what people were expecting. Didn't do much.
Not what I was expecting.
No,
I thought Mariota would be heavily targeting Decker. They went out and got him in the offseason. I thought that was going to be a really good, solid solid pick and pass target for him.
But Corey Davis was the guy for Mariota. 10 targets.
That was good to see. I really liked
69. That. Definitely, if he's out there in your league, hopefully people are smart enough to actually draft him because the talent's there. He's got a He's definitely.
If he wasn't drafted though, he's definitely my number one waiver wire pick.
Oh yeah,
especially if you don't need a running back.
Yeah. Eagles and Redskins. Eagles win this game 30-17. Redskins, honestly, pitiful showing.
Just like preseason.
It's carrying over.
They look bad. They look like a bad team.
They do. They can't run the ball. Rob Kelly, not much. We didn't even see P. Ryan. He didn't even get a carry or a touch in this game.
But, do you think that indicates that not that him not having a touch indicates that he's going to have a bigger role, but do you think Rob Kelly not doing anything really increases Samaje P. Ryan's value at all?
I think he's definitely going to have touches in this next game. I will say that. That's all I'll say. Well, I'll wait and see till then. But Terrell Pryor, 11 targets. He didn't do much in that game. He dropped a bomb of a touchdown. Granted, it would have been called back anyway, but just right through his hands.
They just dropped it.
The passing game doesn't look good. Chris Thompson only somewhat bright light in that offense. Definitely in PPR got in the end zone on a very nice reception.
Yeah, and this last episode we were talking about Terrell Pryor possibly going towards that. Bust category. So I'm
still leaning that way.
I am still leaning that way after that first game.
Yeah, and obviously not much from Jordan Reed in that game as well.
Right.
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
He looked pretty good. Obviously, he had that broken play. I wouldn't say broken play. He did it on his own. Really, he looked like Aaron Rodgers moving around in the pocket and finding Aguilar.
Yeah.
Or Nelson Aguilar on that long touchdown. But yeah, Aguilar. Probably going to be one of the top waiver wire ads. He's sliding into that Jordan Matthews role. Someone's got to catch the ball. Obviously, Zach Ertz comes in, has 8 receptions, 93 yards. That's reassuring. I think that's going to be more of Wentz's go-to guy. Alshon Jeffrey, not the greatest play this week. Obviously, he was getting shadowed by Josh Norman. He was getting shut down there. Yeah. And it's not going to get much easier next week. He's got Marcus Peters.
No.
He's got
it's a pretty tough schedule for him.
LeGarrette Blount, just stray away. He had a touchdown catch, a 1-yard touchdown catch. I don't know how or why.
He was catching the ball.
Yeah, I still just kind of want to avoid that Eagles backfield right now.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
Yeah, Darren Sproles had a few good gains, maybe possible guy in PPR, but I don't like it that much.
No.
On to the worst game, I think, of the entire week one. Colts and Rams, 46-9 blowout. Honestly, the Colts look like...
That was garbage.
They look like a high school team without Andrew Luck. They really do.
It's on both sides of the ball. Special teams, everything. It's just awful. It's just incredible how important Andrew Luck is to that offense.
Honestly, I think the Jets could go into Indianapolis right now and probably run train on them right now.
And that's saying a whole lot.
And obviously, Andrew Luck is going to be out another week. So
at least.
Yeah, at least. On the Rams side of the ball... Just temper expectations here because, again, the Colts are that bad. They really are. But they obviously made the Rams look good. Cooper Kupp gets in the end zone. He looked pretty good. Sammy Watkins, again, similar game to Kupp, but doesn't get in the end zone. Gurley, 15 fantasy points. I do want to say...
I got a few things to say about Todd Gurley.
I know what you're going to say, because after that game, I went back and watched all of his runs.
we went to eat. We were watching the Packers game together, and the first thing I said to Brandon was, Todd Gurley did well today, and Brandon said, yeah. And then I went back that night, because I wasn't watching that game, I was watching the Titans game mostly. I went back that night and looked at it, and I was like, no.
He looks bad.
He looks like 2016 Todd Gurley. 2.1 yards per carry on the awful Colts. He should have done what Kareem Hunt did to the Patriots.
Oh yeah.
He didn't I don't think he broke one tackle. Every time he was touched, he went down. He did not look good. And That's what I expected from the beginning of the season. I mean, I don't like him this year.
I wouldn't 2016 Todd Gurley looking like that. He's looking like Trent Richardson.
Yeah,
honestly,
I mean, that's what I'm scared of is Todd Gurley turning into a Trent Richardson. Last year he averaged like 3.2 yards per carry. This year he's starting off 2.1.
Yeah, and like you said, against the Colts,
completely inefficient. He should have run train all over that defense.
The only positive thing you can say is he's going to get the touches.
Yeah, he is going to get the touches.
That might help his fantasy
value.
But
I think if you've got a player in your league that's super high on Todd Gurley, I think this is a really good trade opportunity. Trade him. I've
already sent trades out to get rid of Gurley in one league.
I think this is a really good opportunity to get as much as you can out of Todd Gurley. Because the expectations are still pretty high, and players are looking at the fantasy points this week, and they're saying, "Wow, he's going to be really good." But I say, I'm trading him.
Yeah. Moving on, Panthers and Niners, 23-3 Panthers. Really not a good showing for the Niners at all. We had Carlos Hyde as one of our starts of the week, or I think that was my start of the week.
Yeah.
Obviously, the streak of seven games in a row, week one, with the Niners winning, comes to an end.
That was a good fact. I like that fact.
Yeah, the Niners looked okay moving the ball. They just they couldn't score.
It wasn't awful. They got down the field pretty well. They couldn't find the end zone at all.
A few turnovers in that game. Cam Newton again the points looked good, but he looked bad.
He looked like a bad Cam Newton again.
He can't throw.
He can't.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what he put together those few years or his MVP season to actually. Obviously, it was the rushing touchdowns in the defense, but he cannot throw the football. He is not a good thrower of the football.
No, I will say that I was thinking about this today. Possible trade scheme. Trade away Cam Newton to someone who drafted Andrew Luck, because they're going to be really down on Andrew Luck this week because of the news about him not starting again, possibly more weeks. They're going to think, well, Cam Newton's one of those top tier quarterbacks. He's not get all you can get out of him. That's my opinion.
Let me ask you this: Cam Newton for Tyrod Taylor? Would you do that deal?
Personally, I would. I like Tyrod more than Cam Newton this year.
I'd jump all over.
Because Tyrod's got the legs too.
Yeah,
and he can show he can pass.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan Stewart out-touches Christian McCaffrey 20-18 by a slim margin. I think
it was a slim margin.
I think it was more of the game script.
Yep.
They got up so quickly, and Stewart is a reliable run the clock out bruiser type of back.
Yeah.
Stewart does get in the end zone on a receiving touchdown.
McCaffrey didn't have a bad game though. I mean, he showed some real sparks of potential.
Yeah. Again, I still worry about there being that close of a split, and
that's true.
Again, Cam Newton can't throw the short pass.
Yep.
And also, speaking of the passing game, Kelvin Benjamin, only one catch for him.
That was painful too.
Yeah, I had him in a lot of daily.
I was pretty high on him. He looked so good in preseason, but I think it's a product of Cam Newton being the quarterback.
Yeah. Packers and Seahawks game of the week. Packers win in Lambeau 17-9.
Yeah.
Not what I expected out of this game.
No, first half score 3-0.
3-0. It was just defensive slugfest, really.
It was.
I expected a high flying game. I thought the scores were going to. I'm pretty sure the over under was like 60 or something or close to that.
Yeah.
But what I can say from this game, both offensive lines. I will say the Packers looked obviously a lot better, their offensive line, but they did. They were going up against a beast of a front seven in the Seahawks.
That's a tough first game for the Packers. Tough first game for the Seahawks. But.
Yeah, I mean, I still think they're still my NFC championship.
Yeah,
game for that. But for the Seahawks, the offensive line is atrocious.
It is.
That's why
I don't want any part of the Seahawks backfield. One thing that I did get from this game is drop Eddie Lacy.
Yes.
He is not good. He's not going to be good. You're not going to get any trade value out of him.
I'd much rather have Chris Carson and Thomas Rawls. We're going to see him in week 2.
If you have Eddie Lacy on your bench, that's a definite candidate to drop for one of these waiver wire pickups this week.
Yeah, and also temper expectations on the Packers defense. They're improved, but they're not that improved.
I liked what I saw though. I mean,
I will say they're healthy.
That defensive line is nasty.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to monitor that, but
yeah,
again, just temper
they
expectations
are healthy.
there.
There was a lot of injuries in that game too, though.
Yeah.
Not any of the big playmakers, but
yeah. Jordy Nelson gets in the end zone. That's. I mean, what can you say? That just happens. Randall Cobb. Good to see what he's actually healthy and doing his thing. 13 targets, team high, 9 catches, 85 yards.
Is that going to be consistent for Randall Cobb?
I think it is. They do a lot of bubble screens with him, and they just want to get the ball in his hands.
It could be a situation like Devontae Adams last year, where people were saying, "Don't pick up Devontae. You don't want any part of Devontae. He's not going to be good this year. He drops too many balls." Could be the same situation for Randall Cobb. Everyone's targeting Devontae. Maybe Randall Cobb this year.
Yeah, definitely a strong candidate in PPR. And don't worry about Devontae Adams and Martellus Bennett having poor games. Again, it was against the Seahawks. They're going to have plenty of great games. Ty Montgomery, very reassuring. 23 touches.
That was good to see.
Yeah, 93 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
He is the guy in Green Bay.
He was efficient, and that's who they're going with. There's not a contest back there.
Yeah. Giants and Cowboys. Cowboys come in, or not come in, or was it? I don't know. 19-3, Cowboys win this game. Obviously, no Odell Beckham.
No OBJ.
It just cripples the Giants.
It does.
Having him.
It does. They need him out there.
Yeah. They just look like they had no idea what to do without him.
Yep.
But Dak looked good. Zeke looked pretty good. Obviously, he got a lot of touches.
They're going to lean on him as much as they can.
Giants' defense is pretty stout, so I wasn't surprised that this was low scoring.
Yep.
Des Bryant shut down. I think this is going to continue. He's got a lot of tough matchups against tough corners. Next week, I believe he's got Denver next week, so he's going up against Chris Harris or Aqib Talib. Most likely Talib because Chris Harris is more the slot guy.
He did have one that was going to be a touchdown, but he just got kind of pushed out and just missed it by an inch. It was going to be beautiful. I think Dak kind of overthrew him a little bit, but still, from our last episode, we're not too high on
Dez
this year.
And just a shout out, you got to shout out Cole Beasley for that catch on the
Beasley.
Old Beasles for the catch on the sideline.
Yeah.
That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was.
Saints and Vikings, one of the Monday night games. Saints go down 19-29.
Ooh, the Saints.
Saints
not
looked
good.
They didn't look too good.
Sean Payton didn't look good.
No, the play calling was awful. And again,
terrible.
I think it's like the Bengals situation when it comes to the running backs. The rotation.
They don't know what they're doing.
They
just don't.
You can't rotate guys that much, especially 3 guys, and expect someone to get a rhythm and do something.
They need to play Mark Ingram more. They need to rely on him a little bit more. Adrian Peterson, obviously, we saw that he was frustrated, but it came out. I mean, it came out after the game that there's no bad blood between him and Sean Payton. He still respects Sean Payton. Sean Payton still likes him. That's not going to be an issue, but still, Mark Ingram should have got the ball more.
Yeah, amen to that. And I think just they should release him or ship Adrian out.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't fit that offense.
No, he doesn't. And
he's not a bad running back, obviously, but he doesn't fit the Saints offense.
Mark Ingram is a very good number 1 back, and Alvin Kamara being the number 2 guy as a pass catcher would be fantastic.
That's a dangerous backfield. I mean, Alvin Kamara had actually a decent game considering how the Saints did.
Yeah, and obviously we got Kobe Fleener getting in the end zone, 5 for 54. He was our sleeper of the week. I grabbed him in one league, and I was going back and forth between him and Hunter Henry, and thank the Lord I got Kobe Fleener.
Okay, good. If you played Hunter Henry, he may have lost you a couple of games.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
He may have lost games for this.
We'll get to that next. But on the Vikings side of the ball, woo, buddy. I don't know if it's more to say about the Vikings offense or more to say about the Saints defense, but Sam Bradford looked like Dan Marino.
I looked at a lot of highlights today because I was really intrigued by that Vikings offense, and I wanted because at first I kind of played it off like it was just the Saints being bad at defense, but Sam Bradford looked really, really good.
He couldn't miss.
He was throwing darts. He was stepping up in the pocket. He was taking a ton of hits. He wasn't afraid of anything. and he just was not missing his wide receivers.
Yeah, so obviously Stephon Diggs, 93 yards and 2 touchdowns. Adam Thielen, 157 yards on 9 catches. Thielen's now in the slot.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know Diggs had the 2 touchdowns, and he's going to be the big favorite this week. But if I was going to pick a guy for the rest of the season, I'd probably lean towards Thielen.
Yeah, Diggs really just showed his talent. I mean, one of his touchdowns was just kind of a blown coverage, though. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's true. But also. I guess one of the bigger news or biggest surprise. I wouldn't say surprise, but
I wasn't surprised.
No, not at all. Well, I'll say surprise in the fact that the Vikings' offensive line looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And that being said, Dalvin Cook ran wild behind it.
He did. He got off to a slow start. I was watching him intently because I was really high on him before the season. I just really like him. He got off to kind of a slow start. It kind of looked like he was a rookie for the first drive or so. Especially on the passing downs. They targeted him a lot, and he dropped, I think, 4 passes. And some of them were wide open, just like little dump-offs that one could have led to a touchdown. But I don't expect that to continue. I think that was more of a rookie jitters kind of thing. They are committed to him. He's going to get a lot of touches. He's going to be he's going to be a PPR asset because of his receiving abilities. And he just looked really good. I mean, the biggest takeaway is that his yards after contact carried over from the NCAA. I've counted very few times that he went down on the first contact. He was just running on plays that should have been stopped at the line or 1 yard. He was turning into 6 yards, and I just really liked seeing that.
Yeah, definitely. Dalvin Cook is the guy in Minnesota. Latavius Murray, I still feel will get a few goal line carries here and now, but he's obviously make people mad. But it's Dalvin Cook all the way. Chargers and Broncos, the late Monday night game. Broncos squeak out a win, 24-21. It got interesting after a few.
It's a little dicey.
Yeah, a few turnovers. Phillip Rivers, he looked good late. Once they started getting starting their comeback, and they were doing up tempo offense. Only threw to the tight end twice. Only 2 tight end receptions, which is kind of odd for him.
That is.
But Melvin Gordon looked fantastic.
He did.
He's the guy. There's no one else in that backfield, really.
Nope.
Keenan Allen gets in the end zone. He had 10 targets, which is reassuring. But honestly, other than the touchdown, he really didn't impress me that much. But if the targets are there, Keenan Allen definitely
touchdowns will come. He'll
definitely
get the
wide
yards.
receiver too.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ball, Trevor Siemian, he had a good night. Two passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. Made Joey Bosa look silly on that one.
Joey Bosa.
Yeah, decent night there. Possibly good quarterback in 2 QB leagues. Not much from the wide receivers. Demarius kind of had an okay night.
It was all right.
Emmanuel Sanders did not. Beanie Fowler gets 2 touchdowns.
Don't make the mistake of picking him up.
Just leave him alone. If you're picking him up over Galladay or Aguilar or Corey Davis or any of those guys, just take a beat and think about what you're doing. Obviously, I will shout out Benny Fowler for he won me some money last night in daily fantasy. But
nice. It's a pretty similar situation to Kenny Galladay as far as where they are in the depth chart. But Kenny Galladay is just so much more talented.
And he's got a much more talented quarterback as well.
Yeah.
From the running backs, we got C.J. Anderson and Jamal Charles.
C.J. Anderson looked good. And I will apologize to Brandon here. I've only been high on C.J. Anderson once in my whole life. And
and that day is today.
He made me weep. He was so disappointing a few seasons ago. And so I've just always strayed away from him. But he's a clear number 1. I don't see Jamal Charles threatening his spot at all. Yeah, especially after this first
Jamal
game.
did look. He looked okay.
He looked like a good backup.
Yeah, he'll get work. Obviously, he fumbled on that on one of those possessions.
That's not what you want to see.
I don't know if that's going to lead to maybe less touches, but C.J. Anderson's the clear number 1 in that offense.
Yeah. So that wraps up our first. I was about to say 16 matchups, but the Buccaneers and the Dolphins got postponed to Week 11, which we already talked about on our last episode. But so that was our first 15 games. Now we're going to talk about some stock ups and stock downs. We're going to go over some waiver wire ads, and then we're going to close it out. So stock ups and stock downs. Who are you stocked up on?
Stocked up. I mean, I'm just going to the tippy top. Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. I knew it.
40 points. Obviously, we don't think that's going to happen again. 40 points is a crazy, crazy amount of fantasy points. But obviously, we weren't going into this week. We weren't entirely sure what Kareem Hunt was going to do. But the situation is there. The talent was on display. Yeah. Kareem Hunt is skyrocketing.
He has the best situation for a rookie running back. And I thought it was Dalvin Cook, but it's Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. Who do you got as your stock up guy?
I've got Leonard Fournette.
Another rookie.
Yeah.
It's the week of rookies.
It was the week of rookies. I was pretty down on him, but as long as he stays healthy, he has shown me that he can be an NFL running back, which we expected. But I just don't think that the injuries are going to be as big of an issue as some people, or as we may have made it seem like in our first few episodes. Stocking down. I'm stocked down. We already gone over this. On Todd Gurley. I was not high on him last week, and I'm even less high on him this week. He did not look at all good. No, zero good.
Zero good.
I said
we're not English majors here.
I say trade him because the expectations are still high for him for the rest of the season. But yeah, like we said, like a little over 2 yards per carry is awful. His efficiency is awful. He'll get the touches, but that's it. Who do you got as your stock down?
I'm picking Jordan Howard for this spot.
I like that. Yeah.
I think all of our fears were realized. I said Tariq Cohen is a guy you need to look at. Coming in from the preseason, and obviously
they need to look at him a whole lot more now.
Yeah, they used him a ton, and he's definitely going to be
not always at the running back position. They can still play Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen at the same time.
Yeah, great pass catcher, but Jordan Howard, you have to drop him down in your rankings. With Tariq Cohen doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I like that. So waiver wire ads. Who are you targeting number one overall?
Right off of the Jordan Howard news, not news, but situation, Tariq Cohen.
I agree. Yeah, that's consistent.
Like we said, 13 targets this week. He's the number one guy.
Kevin White gone. That could be even better for Tariq Cohen.
Especially in PPR.
Yes.
I will say I was going back and forth between him and Buck Allen as my number one guy.
Yeah.
Because Buck Allen is kind of a similar situation. He's going to be a passing down guy who gets a lot of work.
Yeah, especially PPR. I've got him actually as my number 3 waiver wire ad, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Tariq Cohen was my consensus number 1 as well. 2, I think we may have a little disagreement. I've got Cooper Kupp. I think you may have someone different.
Yeah, I had Galladay next. But,
I was going back and forth between those as well.
Yeah, both reliable guys. I think it's just whichever one you're going to lean towards. I do agree that Cooper Kupp has definitely the upside when it comes to targets.
Yeah. But Galladay has the upside when it comes to pure skill.
And I don't know about that, but definitely the touchdowns upside.
Yeah.
We're running out of time in this one. We're trying to obviously, like I said, trying to put 3 episodes into a week. And the timing might be weird for some of these. You'll see that we might talk about something and news might break later on that doesn't match what we said before. But just remember, we might be recording these prematurely to when they are released. Obviously, we have other things going on that we can't really record all the time. But like I said, that's our show for today. Join us. I guess we'll have a show tomorrow. Hopefully, it'll be our week 2 preview. We'll get you some starts and sits in there and things of that nature. Follow us over on Instagram and Twitter at the 423 Football. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Give us a like. Leave your comments and reviews. And share us with all your friends, family, whoever. Thanks for listening. We are the 423 Football Podcast.
Peace out.